What if I told you that the empath who walks away from a toxic relationship isn't weakened by what they endured, but refined by it? That what looks like exhaustion on the surface is actually the calm of someone who has awakened to their own power. Stay with me, because what Carl Jung revealed about inner transformation will radically change how you see the empath after betrayal. Jung believed that the psyche does not break under pressure, it reorganizes. And nowhere is this more evident than in the empath who survives emotional manipulation, gaslighting, and soul-deep exhaustion. Most people assume these individuals come out shattered, guarded, or afraid to love again. But Jung uncovered something far more profound. He discovered that suffering, when faced consciously, becomes a gateway to evolution. Here's what really happens after the toxic bond is severed: what no one prepares you for. And by the end of this, you'll understand why the post-toxic empath moves through life with a quiet authority that cannot be shaken. According to Carl Jung, the human mind is always striving toward wholeness. When an empath endures prolonged emotional harm, the unconscious begins a process of recalibration. This isn't just healing. This is restructuring. The empath who once overgave, over-explained, and overextended doesn't lose their sensitivity. They gain discernment, and that distinction changes everything. They don't become distant. They become precise. They don't shut down. They tune in more deeply than ever before. The first phase of this transformation is subtle but intense. Jung called it the encounter with the shadow. This is the moment the empath can no longer deny the parts of themselves they abandoned to keep the peace. The anger they suppressed. The boundaries they never enforced. The intuition they silenced to avoid conflict. At this crossroads, the empath faces a choice: remain the version of themselves that tolerated mistreatment, or integrate the strength they were taught to fear. Jung discovered that the shadow is not just where our pain lives, it's where our unused power has been hiding. For the empath, the shadow holds their assertiveness, their self-respect, their ability to walk away without explanation. And when these qualities are finally reclaimed, Jung said something extraordinary is born: the authentic self. This change doesn't announce itself. It doesn't seek validation. It moves quietly, but it is irreversible. Jung taught that true authority comes from within. The post-toxic empath no longer negotiates their worth. They don't argue for understanding. Their words become fewer, but their presence becomes stronger. They've reached psychological autonomy, the stage where inner truth outweighs external approval. And here's where the shift becomes unmistakable. Jung observed that those who endure deep psychological trials develop heightened perception. The empath who once ignored discomfort now recognizes it instantly. The body signals they use to rationalize away become undeniable guidance. They read tone, pauses, inconsistencies. They sense intention before words are spoken. This isn't hypervigilance. It's integration. Jung called it earned awareness. The empath has seen manipulation up close. They've lived inside cycles of charm and withdrawal, promise and betrayal. And because of that, they no longer need proof. Recognition alone is enough. They disengage early, cleanly, without resentment. Not because they are cold, but because they are clear. Jung referred to this as clarity of vision, seeing reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. But the most profound transformation happens in how the empath loves. Carl Jung believed that love without self-love is not virtue, it's self-erasure. The post-toxic empath understands this now, not intellectually, but viscerally. They know that sacrifice without reciprocity is not compassion, it's abandonment of the self. They still feel deeply. They still care intensely. But their empathy is no longer unlimited. It is protected, honored, directed with intention. Jung called this appropriate investment, offering energy only where it is respected and returned. What emerges from this process is what Jung described as individuation, a person who has integrated pain, reclaimed power, and become whole. The empath no longer seeks completion through others. They are rooted in themselves. Their scars are no longer wounds. They are proof of discernment, evidence of survival, markers of wisdom. They understand that leaving was not failure, it was initiation. That silence is not weakness, it is sovereignty. That walking away is not loss, it is alignment. Jung discovered that those who alchemize suffering into insight become forces of nature, not loud, not aggressive, but immovable, certain, awake. The power the empath gains after toxicity has nothing to do with revenge. It has everything to do with self-trust, trusting their intuition, honoring their limits, choosing peace over chaos, truth over illusion, self-respect over familiarity. This, according to Carl Jung, is one of the highest transformations available to a human being. The journey from self-abandonment to self-sovereignty, from overgiving to self-possession, from surviving to standing fully in one's own authority. This is the quiet strength of the post-toxic empath. And once you recognize it, you'll never confuse their calm with fragility again.